Hey buddies, welcome to Amass Games. My name is Simon. I'm going to show you how to set up, play and review the game Fight for Olympus by Matthias Kramer with 2 players, and it's by Mayfair. Okay, so if you've seen my overview video, give a good background into the history of this game. This game about trying to be on Mount Olympus and being the best champion. Okay, so there's 2 sides to the board, and you don't have to worry about that side there. And you're going to lay this out in front of you. There's 75 cards. You're going to give them a good shuffle. And if you wish to, you can actually see a turn order cards going on here. Playing cards from your hand, attacking, and then using equipment. Aside from that, you can have some counters. One thing is specifically called a counter. If I use the word hero and heroine, the book just says to call it hero for obviously male or female. That's fine. And these tokens are going to go in the center. So various places on the board. We have Troy. We have Delphi, Oracle of Delphi, basically, and then over here we have Mount Olympus. So this is a game whereby you are generating resources, i.e. cards, whereby they have different colors, and then you're going to use them to ultimately try and see if you can claim the 7 victory points before your opponent does to win the game, a bit like in Seven Wonders Duel, or maybe to be the person controlling the most when the cards run out. Those are 2 core ways of winning. Now, there's another game that I've made called Castle Rampage, which I give an 8 out of 10 to. A small box by the same designer, also a 2-player game, using purely cards, no board. I highly recommend you check out the video that I'll have pop up for you there as well. And in terms of this rule book, just to let you know, it's really simple, really straightforward. And there's only one minor issue with one of the cards, which I might talk to you in a moment. Okay, so let me show you what's going on over here. If all spaces are occupied on one side of the board at the start of their turn, then that player wins. Now, I happen to have just lost based on the 7 victory points. So, you're now going to deal yourself 6 cards to each player. Of course, it's a 2-player game. So there we have 4, 5, and 6. Now, please ensure you hit the like button, and of course, under the video, you can always unlike it if you like. Just take that green or blue thumb off. The blue thumb off, of course, if you're watching it on YouTube. Now, also hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and again, keep it subscribed. And finally, if you want to chuck any comments or descriptions, just ask. Okay, so you're drawing your 6 cards. You're having a look. There are various places you can choose to go. Okay, we're going to play down for this side here. I've got some yellow cards, I've got some green cards, and if I were you, I'd keep them in that kind of order based on suit color. Finally, we have a wild card, anything that you want it to be. So let's talk about actually what I could be choosing to do. Well, these here, by the way, are damage tokens. You'll see that in a moment. If I choose to play a card in Troy, when I reach the attack phase, I can basically draw an extra card. And you'll see that happen on my 2nd turn. On the 1st turn, basically, you can either do one of 2 options of playing cards from your hand, attacking, and drawing cards. So right now, I've got a yellow card. That's a soldier. Doesn't cost me anything. I'm going to place one here. I've got a card here, which also doesn't have a cost. It's going to go here. I have got a green card, which I could have used with a yellow card here. I've got green, yellow, and red. I've got a card requiring green. Let's just try and play it over here, show you something different. I'll discard that card. Remember, it goes out of play. Let's kind of do it there. And these cards I can't use. Currently, it's a wild card, but I'm not able to use it. So now we move on to the drawing cards phase, because it does recommend at the first game skipping the attacking phase. Now it's the opponent's turn. So they've drawn 6 cards. Let's just see what they have. Let's say they play a blue card here. They've also got another blue card. They're going to place that here. And they need to discard a blue card, so they discard a blue card. And let's say, they could hold on to cards. Let's say they place a card here. Okay, and those cards they can't afford, so they're just going to keep hold of them. So now it's my turn again. I've got a few more cards. So firstly, I can, of course, play cards. Here's a green card. Let's play that. And I have to discard a couple of green cards, so I do that as well. So those cards are out of the game. And now it's time to go into the attacking phase. So you start with Mount Olympus, and I'm attacking. Well, there's nothing to attack here for me. Nothing to attack. This person attacks, I get 1 point. I gain 1 point because there's nothing to attack. This card, it has an attack value of 1, and it's going to deal 1 damage. It has a defense of 2, a skull of 2 over here. I've got 3, so it does 1 damage. Over here, it attacks for 0, and it defends for 2. Over here, I've got a defensive attack of 1. There's no card, so I draw a card. Now I move on to the final part, which is the draw phase. I draw 2 cards. Now it's the opponent's card. That's a very interesting card. Okay, so maybe that's, I haven't seen that card before. Maybe that's Make Your Own. I've no idea what that represents. Very strange. Okay, so over here, we've now got the opponent. They are now going to draw and play out their cards. They would have drawn a couple of cards. They have these 2 cards. They're now going to draw a couple of cards. And we have Corbius here. So can we play any red cards? Nope, we've got no red cards to play. We've got some green cards. Yeah, let's just do that. So discard a green card and that wild card to play out Penelope. And this one actually has an effect. Actually, this stuff should read as well. When you play this card here, you draw 1 card. This card should be drawing a card. When you play this one, you may heal up to 2 damage. Well, I didn't have any, but just for example, showing how to play the game. When you play this one, you may move an enemy unit of your choice to a free space on your opponent's side. Okay, so various abilities that I didn't really show and activate, but I just wanted to show you how you play out the game. So it would have made your choices as to what you do. I'll talk about that in the review. So now I've got a choice to make. When I'm playing out Penelope, so you play her, you may move an enemy unit of your choice to a free space on your opponent's side. So I'm going to place that here and then move this one across to, let's go here, because if I go there, they're attacking first now from now on. Actually, no, I'll be attacking first, so we'll move it here. Okay, and now we're moving on to the attack phase, so I, again, get another victory point. Nothing here, I get another victory point here. Here, I'm dealing 1 damage, which is enough to kill this person off. Over here, there is something, so again, we're not doing any damage. Here, then that just nullifies it, do 1 damage, which is enough to kill it off. Now, something we haven't seen happen is actually what would happen if there was an opponent here. If there wasn't, I get to take one of these. If I take one of these, when it's my next turn to draw a card, so now I will be drawing 2 cards. I can use this. So imagine I needed a blue and a red. Instead of discarding Andrew Mash, you can spend a red and a blue, which I don't happen to have, but whatever this represents, maybe draw your own thing. I'm going to say that's what it is. You can spend it. Now, why would you do that? Well, you don't want to lose your cards. So let's talk about the game. I mean, that is it. If you have any other questions, it's as straightforward as that. You can keep playing. When we played of these 75 cards, the last game, we got down to 22 remaining. So we got through about 2/3 of the game. So again, you could quickly rush it and try and win that way, or you try and engine build it up with cards. But the downside, of course, is somebody else is just whittling away, getting other points. And there's only one place you can draw extra cards from. Of course, you might want to play someone with a more powerful card. Sometimes you've got loads of heroes out, maybe your opponent. You can play a card which actually does a damage to all of them, sometimes 2 damage to all of them, or at least 2 of them. Now, talk about this review. So firstly, you have a bag where these guys come out of, but whilst you may have seen my other video, all these cards came in shrink, there's no bag for them. And whilst that's not a problem, it's a bit of a shame that these all could get smushed around, to be honest, which is a bit of a pain. And there are 20 damage tokens. I don't think more than maybe 6 are going to get used in the game. And there's 1 card in the game which is not clear. And that's basically, if you are on Mount Olympus and you get damaged, you can move her by paying a card somewhere else in your row. But if that then happens, that person could well get damaged again as that person's going through their damage, I guess, resolution. So that's not very clear, which is a bit of a pain, as I said, because it looks as if she takes multiple damage. So these cards are going to go away, and that's very similar to Castle Rampage. Now, there's another game called 1565, which plays very similarly. So if you want to check out that game, that's also going to be a pop-up, I think, as well. And I've actually put the thing in the lid by accident. So, my review, and what's my rating? I give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's fine. I think it's enjoyable playing out your cards, using up your resources. It doesn't take too long either, to be honest. It's rather swift, and I definitely don't mind playing it. Having said that, of course, in the 2-player genre, there are some great games. Again, such as Castle Rampage, it's probably half the size once you consider the depth of it as well. Doesn't require placing out, obviously, a board. And as others have said, it's a little fiddly when I've played it with them because, again, you need to keep an eye on what there is, the reading of descriptions, and how the equipment works as well. You might not have seen any equipment, but the way that works is you just attach it to any hero on your side, and it doesn't matter what colour that equipment represents. It just goes with them. In this case, adds +1 damage. It could do defense. In this case, it's a sword. So the blue that one had, it doesn't have to glow the blue person. It just becomes a blue person, but you could use it and discard the card rather than using that equipment. Well, again, any questions, please let me know, and I hope you look forward to the next video coming very soon. All the best. Bye for now.